Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to another video in our Tag Mixer series. So today what I want to do is jump straight into something simple. This video is actually going to be short. And hey, you know what? Before I go on, are you subscribed? Are you? Hey, subscribe, will you? Alright, right back into it anyway. I wanted to start today by, I just went ahead and closed up everything in here so you guys could see what I was doing from scratch. Last time I left us off creating this party time switch for showing whether our plugin is turned on and off, and then we did a little bit of bringing in Bootstrap, Google Fonts, stuff like that. It's in the last video, you can go back for that. This is a sketch.io. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys, so just to draw out real quick. So what we're actually going to do here is we're going to create a section in here for our traffic keys. If you guys recall, there's going to be a way that a user can only activate the element change settings. This is an idea I had earlier based on a key, or you can do it all. You can leave it by all as default, but you could say like, hey, if this key comes from Facebook, like if this is a link from Facebook, I want the page to, and the keyword they come in on is like page 1. You want to show them different results for page 1 and Facebook. You want to change what it is. But if the traffic source was not Facebook, if you didn't include a key and it just said page 1, you don't want to do that particular thing. Like maybe you want to customize it to look more like Facebook so that people on Facebook, you know, when they click through or whatever. So in order to accomplish that, we actually have to do two things, because we have a packages page. Remember guys, I'm building this real time kind of with you. I'm just kind of coming up with ideas real time. And we have a packages page which allows you to select all your items you want to change and do stuff. But we have to create a couple of things, because we need a drop down here that allows us to add and remove traffic sources. And the best way to do that is with custom posts, which if you've watched my older tutorials or my other tutorials that had to do with the original YouTube plugin I built, which that video of course is still going to be getting more videos as well, I showed how to do custom posts. But here's the thing, we have a source settings that we need to do, which has a key name. It has a key name. I would just put n, key n for name, and then it has a key. Okay, so it has two settings we need for a custom post. And then inside of our other page, this is in our settings page, and then in our other page, when you're setting up your settings, those are going to be saved as custom posts as well. And that's going to have the name, the name of the package, package name, package type, and then all of the settings for what you want it to display. And then it's going to have a key section in here, and it says what key do you want selected. And by default, it's going to be selected to all, okay? But then what it's going to do is it's going to call into these custom posts that we've set in our settings page here, and added and removed them. And then in our packages page, they'll show up and as a drop down that we can add into our package. So that way we can say, okay, we want to create a Facebook package with these changes. Right? Okay. So in order to do that, like I said, we need two custom posts for our plugin. We need one that's for keys and key names and setting, and then generated keys, which we're going to create a key generator and all that. And then we have the other settings page, which calls in those custom posts, displays them in a drop-down box for the user to be able to put them in a key and all that. All right. Seems pretty simple, right? So, but the first thing we need to create the custom key for here, and we need to put it into our settings before we go into the packages. So in order to do that, we have to come back in here, and we have to start with the includes, and then the class, and just the name of the plugin. This is the core that kind of does everything. And we need to go down, for at the very top, we need to go down into admin hooks, administrative hooks, and we need to create a new hook here, and we need to say add a custom post for source keys. Let's just call it source keys. And we've done this before, okay? And I'll show you right now what we do. We basically can copy one of these above. We can basically copy this. And instead of admin menu, we're going to say admin init for initialization. We're going to call to our plugin admin class that's inside our admin folder. We'll go there and do the next part. And then we're going to name this function like, we're going to call this custom, there we go. Custom tag mixer source key. That's what we're going to call this. Right. So now what we've done is we've created a new function in the admin init for the plugin admin with a calling to this function, right? So when the plugin initializes, it's calling to our admin class, and then it's looking for this function. So you guys know what we're going to do next. We're going to go into our admin and into our tag mixer admin, and then down at the bottom, starting from the top, head straight to the bottom inside this last squiggly bracket. We're going to do public function and then paste in. I just copied and brought it over. Open and close parameters. There isn't going to be any in this particular case. And now we have a function being called to for our admin initialization, and this is going to be setting a custom post. Well, how do we do that? Well, I'm going to go ahead and paste in some code, and then I'll go over with you. I really don't want to handwrite it all by hand, and I kind of want to keep this video under 10 minutes because every video I've had has been well over 10 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and paste in what I wrote on my desktop and just brought over. And this will be in the GitHub, by the way, and a lot of times it'll be easier just to copy and paste it for you as well instead of writing it all. But if you want to write it, that's completely up to you. But I will go through what it does. So what we're doing here is we're actually returning and registering a custom post. And so here's what it does. It needs labels. That's the first thing that a custom post type needs inside of WordPress, and that's the name, the name of your what it is. We're calling this one tag mixer source keys, and the second parameters is the post type general name, and then it wants the singular name with its singular name. But I just put post type singular name, post type general name. I didn't even change those, and then because we're not going to access it through the public anyway, it's just going to be accessed programmatically. Menu name, this is what it looks like in your menu. This stuff doesn't necessarily matter to this build, but I did want to leave it in to show an example of how to do it again. All this stuff is pretty self-explanatory. The parent item, this is how it displays, okay? Like, remember when you're in WordPress and then it will have like an add new, like up here it'll have posts and all that. So when you're adding the new post for this is the stuff it's going to say. All source keys when you're trying to look, view your source keys, add a new tag mixer source key, edit, update, search, not found, and trash. So those are our labels for this key, and you can change them how you see fit. And then we have the arguments that it takes in for our register post type function. First, it wants the label. I make the label and the post type name the same just to stay consistent. And this is actually what when we do a get all posts and we're cycling through these posts, this is what we use. So that's how you set that. The description is what this is. I just said it's a source keys for determining when to activate specific package sets, like we talked about. Labels, it's calling the label arrays from above for how the labels are going to be displayed, and it wants it as an array, so that's why we call it that way. Because you can see when it says supports, we could have done this one as a separate array too and just called it that array, but this one we did in line. And this is all of the what it supports in the editor, so title, editor, excerpt, author. That's what you can edit if this was pulled up on the graphics side. Hierarchical, that's false. We're not going to make this hierarchical. Public, this says true. I think I'm going to change it to false because we don't want it to be publicly seen. I'm just still kind of playing around with these, but I think I want it false. Show in the UI, user interface, false. Show in menu, false. Show in nav menu, false. Show in admin bar, false. Menu position 5, that doesn't even really matter here because that's how far down the side menu it would be. Can export, false. I don't want you to be able to export these. Has archive, I'm going to put false on that as well. Exclude from search, true. And then publicly queryable, false. And then capability, post. Okay, this stuff can be seen, and show and rest. I think I'll put that as false as well. But what we want to do with this is, and by the way, you can look this up by going out to Google and typing in custom post arguments for WordPress, args array, and it'll give you all the descriptions on what each of what these things do. A lot of them are pretty self-explanatory, though, if you think about them in the form of a post. It's kind of WordPress's internal way of handling extra data users want to add in with plugins, the custom post table, and then we do what's called adding metadata. That's what we did in our last one. We're going to do that here too. But anyway, and then below that, it registers the post type, gives it the name, takes our whole argument array, and then it knows everything about our custom post. Okay, so at this point, we've already created a custom post type now for the source keys array, or for the source keys items that we're going to use to know if we want to activate something based on incoming source. And like I said, I could have wrote all this by hand, absolutely. It seems like a total waste of time, and you guys will be able to just get it from the GitHub and be able to reverse engineer it on your own. And then also there's so much documentation on this, but this really is the best way. It's really easy. All we did was add a new action under the initialization, called to that plugin admin class, called to that function, and then we just went ahead and registered our new post. So this video is meant to be really short, just to kind of give you an idea of what we're going to be doing in the next couple videos, mainly creating 2 custom post type sets and then building their graphics interfaces, and then it's kind of off to the races on how we start building the rest of this plugin as far as how it changes elements and all that. But hey, I think in the next video we're going to go ahead and build the graphics side on here for calling in and setting new custom posts with key source identifiers. So I'm probably going to jump into that on the next one. Thanks for watching this one. And hey, if you haven't already, subscribe, will you? Because it's going to be a pretty good course. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.